Hello everybody, welcome to today's lecture. Today we are going to revise digital certificates. Now before understanding digital certificates, we will try to understand the meaning of security services, messages and entity. So सबसे पहले तो मैसेज क्या होता है? मैसेज वो होता है जो आप सेंडर रिसीवर को सेंड करता है. Now this message is going to contain some data and some information which should be sent in a secure way. To maintain the security of this message, we are going to be in need of some services. So the first service is confidentiality. मैसेज कॉन्फिडेंशियल होना चाहिए. इसका मतलब क्या है कि सिर्फ सेंडर और रिसीवर मस्ट बी एबल टू रीड एंड अंडरस्टैंड द कंटेंट्स ऑफ द मैसेज. मैसेज की इंटीग्रिटी मेंटेन होनी चाहिए. इसका मतलब है कि द contents of the message can be modified or changed only by valid users, and before the message transfer begins, the user must be able to authenticate himself with the other party. So in authentication, both the sender and the receiver exchange some messages in which they will prove each other's identity, and once it is proved, then they can start the data transfer. In case of non-repudiation, it means that when a sender sends a message, then in future he cannot deny that he has sent the message. Similarly, when a receiver receives a message, he cannot deny that he has received the message. So both the sender and the receiver can take the help of a third party and use the process of non-repudiation. For what is the meaning of entity now? Entity can be anything. It can be a person, a process, a client or a server. So if anybody wants to initiate a communication, it can be treated as an entity. ये हो सकता है एक person, ये हो सकता है एक machine. So two parties, कोई भी हो, if they are trying to communicate with each other, then they are performing communication via their entities. So basically, when two parties want to authenticate each other, they are going to be using a challenge response system. So अब हम लोग देखेंगे ये challenge response system होता क्या है. यहाँ पे यूजर है एलिस और यूजर भी है बॉब. एलिस और बॉब के पास है एक सेम सीक्रेट की विच इज की KAB. नाउ एलिस स्टेप नंबर 1 में अपना आइडेंटिटी दैट इज हर यूजर आईडी सेंड कर रही है बॉब को. So Alice has transmitted her user ID Alice to Bob. In step number 2, Bob has issued a random challenge RB and sent it to user Alice. Now when this random challenge RB reaches user Alice, Alice can make use of a key which is key KAB, and using this key KAB, Alice is going to perform encryption on this random challenge. And once it is done, once it is encrypted, then this challenge is going to be sent to Bob. Now of course Bob will know the key KAB because it is shared between Alice and Bob. So now using this key KAB, Bob will perform the decryption and RB can be retrieved by Bob. So इस केस में हमने क्या देखा कि एलिस और बॉब ने पहले एक दूसरे को ऑथेंटिकेट किया, मतलब प्रूव किया कि दोनों के पास सेम की है दैट इज की KAB. और एक बार ये प्रूव हो गया, उसके बाद आगे का कम्युनिकेशन they can use this key KAB for encryption and decryption. Now we are going to come to our main topic which is digital certificate. So digital certificate basically एक ऐसा entity है जो एक CA issue करता है. CA is called as a certification authority. और ये हम किसके लिए issue करते हैं? So that we are able to validate the identity of the other user. Basically कोई भी communication start होने के पहले आपको CA के पास जाके एक certificate issue करके लेना होता है. और जब आप कम्युनिकेशन स्टार्ट करने वाले हो तो आप अपना सर्टिफिकेट उस दूसरे पार्टी को प्रेजेंट करते हो. एक बार वो पार्टी आपको वेरीफाई कर देता है, फिर आपका कम्युनिकेशन स्टार्ट होता है. सो लेट्स लुक एट द प्रोसेस. अगर मैं एक यूजर हूँ और अगर मुझे सर्टिफिकेट चाहिए तो व्हाट आर द स्टेप्स दैट आई विल फॉलो. सो इन आवर सिचुएशन आवर यूजर इज कॉल्ड एज बॉब. Bob wants to apply for a digital certificate. So first step is Bob will send his public key to the CA. CA is our certificate authority. Certificate authority has a directory. This directory contains the name of the users and their corresponding public keys. So now CA has received Bob's public key. It will keep a copy of that public key in place of this directory entry. So अभी Bob के नाम की directory entry बन गई है. directory में it is going to contain Bob's ID and his own public key. अब CA क्या करेगा? CA एक certificate create करेगा and that certificate will be signed using CA's own private key. तो अब Bob के लिए एक certificate ready हो गया है जिसमें Bob का नाम होगा, Bob का public key होगा and नीचे होगा CA का signature. and this signature is of course generated using CA's own private key. This is going to be presented to Bob, and in future when Bob wants to talk to other users, he can distribute it to public and the communication can begin. In real life, we have seen so many certificates. It will contain our name, it will contain the details of the competition for which we have won the certificate, and it will also contain the signature of the person who has issued the certificate. It could be either our principal or our HOD or someone like that, someone in charge. Similarly, in digital certificates also you will have the user's identity, the user's public key, the name of the website, the name of the company, and the validity of the certificate. It will be valid for certain time, and of course at the end it is going to contain the CA's signature. Remember that this signature is generated using CA's own private key. नाउ अब ये सर्टिफिकेट मिलने के बाद हम इसको किसके लिए यूज कर सकते हैं? वी कैन यूज इट फॉर एनक्रिप्शन, क्योंकि हमारा पब्लिक की उसमें होगा, सो वी कैन डिस्ट्रीब्यूट इट टू अदर यूजर्स, और वो यूजर्स वो पब्लिक की यूज करके हमारे साथ मैसेज एक्सचेंज कर सकते हैं. We can use this for signature generation. We will see digital signatures and we will see how digital signatures help in verifying the identity. Then we can use it for both, and we can also use it for smart logon. Now I told you the certificate authority, it is the person who is in charge or the entity who is in charge of issuing the digital certificates, and each certificate is going to contain the public key and the identity of the owner. CAs can be of three types. It could be a single tier hierarchy CA. So in this case we have only one CA. That CA is called as the root CA. The user will present his public key to the certificate signing authority. Certificate signing authority will forward it to the root CA. Root CA will then generate his signature on the certificate and send it back to the user. So this type of process where we have only one single root CA is called as a single tier hierarchy. In two-tier hierarchy, we are going to have one CA who is in offline mode, and this CA is going to be in charge of multiple CAs which are in online mode. So these online issuing CAs are actually in charge of generating certificates for multiple users. Then we have a three-tier hierarchy. We have an offline CA, then we have intermediate CAs, and finally we have the issuing CAs. So all the certificates are generated by the issuing CAs, and the information about the users are maintained in the intermediate CAs and the offline root CA. Now what are the steps for obtaining a digital certificate? In step number 1, the user will first of all register himself with a registration authority. It will generate user ID and password. So this user values are then sent as an input to an algorithm. This algorithm is the key generating algorithm. So using these user values, now two keys are going to be generated. One is going to be a public key and other is going to be the private key. The private key of the user is going to be kept in the key store. So this key store is going to help in securing the private key of the user. It will not be shared with other users. Whereas the public key of the user is going to be sent to the certificate authority. Public key is sent to the certificate authority for verification. Once the certificate authority verifies this public key, then it will generate a digital certificate. It will be signed using the CA's own private key, and in step number 7, this digital certificate is going to be sent back to the user. In step number 1, when the user generates the public key, it is going to look something like this. So here we have the name of the user, the organization of the user, the address, the country of the user, as well as the public key of the user. So this is the public key belonging to user Mario, and now this public key and the information of the user has reached the CA. The CA has used his own private key, which is depicted here using this red key. So this red key is the CA's own private key, and then the CA has signed this entire information of the user and generated the digital certificate. At the bottom of this certificate, the CA has signed using his own private key, and this is the digital signature of the CA. In future now, what will happen? The client will have his own certificate and the server will have his own certificate, which are stored in the key stores along with their private keys. Now a copy of the client certificate and the server certificate are present with the CA. So CA's database is called as the trust store. Trust store contains the copies of all the client and all the server certificates of the network. So now in step number 1, client will request for a resource from the server. In step number 2, server will present his certificate by retrieving it from the key store. In step number 3, client will verify this certificate from the CA's trust store. In step number 4, client will present his own certificate to the server. In step number 5, server will now verify the client. So whatever certificate the client has presented, which has been retrieved from the client's key store, this certificate will be sent to the server. Server will compare it with the certificate which is already stored in the trust store, and when both the values match, the server will allow the access to the protected resource. So as we can see, before any communication begins, before any access begins, the certificates of each other are presented and they are verified by each other, and only then the communication begins. Now what is inside a digital certificate? It is going to contain the version, the serial number, the subject, the issuer who is the CA, validity, that is not before, not after, this is the time period for which the certificate is going to be valid, public key, the public key of the user who has requested for the certificate, the size as well as the algorithm which is used for generating, and then we have the signature. Now this is also used in a standard format. The standard format is called as X.509 certificates. So this is how the format of the X.509 certificate looks like. It will contain all the fields that we have seen previously, such as the version, the certificate serial number, which is the unique ID for this certificate, then the issuer's signature, the validity period, the name of the subject, the name of the signature of the subject, and other options, optional data. And at the bottom we can see there is the certificate authority's digital signature. This is the most important part of this entire certificate, because this proves that all the data which is previously supplied by the user has been verified by the CA. So this was all about X.509 certificates and digital signature. Hope you are going to understand how digital signatures work and how digital certificates work. If you have any doubts, please let me know. Thank you so much for watching this lecture. See you in my next video.